meeting of a city council, because our city code says the business meetings are in the council chambers, right? We also have some technology barriers that we want to make sure that we can cross for the meetings, right? So we're going to move this planning commission meeting to the Eagle Point Lodge. We got a capacity of 300 up there. Right now, and this was one of my fears, we currently provide on YouTube and on Microsoft Teams, right? So there's online presence. The Microsoft Teams is, per the state code, we have to allow participation electronically, right? So we're going to be able to get the Teams up, but we most likely won't be able to have our live YouTube streaming from up there. Both at the same time, we're having some struggles, which is exactly why I didn't really want to move things, right? Because we had thousands of people watching it online on YouTube for the council meetings when we had public discussion on things like this. So we'll have the planning commission up there. There'll be a lot of space for people in person. You'll be able to get on Microsoft Teams. You'll be able to participate if you want to make comments. You'll be able to see the meeting on there. We'll record it and then we'll upload it to YouTube later, which is... It's okay, but I really like in the council chambers where we have the technology to do them simultaneously so somebody could watch the meeting in real time if they wanted to, right? So that's kind of where we're at with that. And again, they'll have their public comment, they'll have their discussion, and then they'll make a recommendation to the council. And then I guess going to the process after that, the next step for the council would be to have a public hearing on the recommendation from the planning commission. So
again, it's going to be Wednesday, July 15th, 5 p.m.
Yep.
Again, up at the Eagle Point Park Lodge. Like any issue, there's always going to be pros and cons. Yeah. What are some of the pros that you're hearing about having a data center in the area?
Really, obviously the biggest thing is the tax revenue, right? And, when you're looking at city, there's people out there saying, oh, you're only doing things for money, blah, 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 whatever. Well, when we do development to generate a tax base, right? And generate revenue, right? That's why we do development in the city. It doesn't matter if it's a data center or a factory doing whatever, making shoes or, making some other chemical products, whatever it is, right? So that's obviously a benefit, right? Growing your tax base. That is important for everyone. There's a lot of construction jobs that'll be involved. Those are not permanent jobs. They're short term. I understand that. But, just like you're doing roads or anything like that, those are all short term construction jobs as well. And we're doing projects all the time, right? And that benefits our community because folks are here working and they're doing that. There'll be some permanent jobs. They're not a ton. If you look at it, the potential biodiesel plant out there, the permanent jobs will be about the same between those two projects, right? So, to be about 100, maybe a little bit more. There will be some more permanent type jobs with them. If it came to fruition, you're looking at HVAC people and all that kind of stuff. Like those jobs would kind of be ongoing because there's going to be maintenance. There's going to be things that need to be done at facilities like that. So that's really what you're looking at as far as the pros, right?
So what are the biggest cons that you're hearing from the people?
The biggest cons would be noise. I think that's the number one thing that I hear that's concerning. Electric consumption, water consumption, those are the big things, right? And then, me personally, there's some things in the construction. Obviously, it would be a big site, so obviously there'd be some construction challenges that you might not see at other locations, right? Because of how much dirt's being moved and, maybe dust and things like that. And so there'd be some challenges there. I'm still working through a lot of that stuff on my own too, with my own research, specifically to like the dewatering process when they're doing construction, because they kind of dig it down into the ground a little bit. So they have to do some dewatering and, will that disturb wells? Will that disturb anything in the area? Like, how do we navigate through that? Obviously there's road management issues too. Is all the equipment going to damage our roads? How is that going to get fixed? Because obviously it shouldn't be on the taxpayers if stuff like that happens. So there's a lot of things that I'm still working through that I'm trying to figure out. Noise is a big one for me, just because, I know we have some factories around here that have a hum or some noise and things like that. But how do we mitigate that the best we can? How do we control that? So there's still a lot of questions to be answered, and really. Right now, research is just research, in my opinion. We don't have a submitted plan. We don't have a project. We can't look specifically at, okay, they're projecting to do this, how do we research this specifically? So right now I'm just trying to gain general knowledge on the process and what these things look like and the potentials. And obviously we know they use a closed loop system, but obviously there's things involved with the closed loop system. How do they charge it? How do they do the maintenance on it? How much water are they going to use? So there's just so many things with this, and it's a heavy topic, and I understand that. And from my perspective, what I'm really trying to do is, part of our job is to grow, right, and find development. So, can we do this responsibly? Can we do a responsible development that is, has safeguards and mitigation efforts and all those types of things for our community? I think that's my focus as I'm going into this. Is let's see what a project potentially looks like. Let's see what safeguards we can put in place. Let's see if we can get it done responsibly, and if we can't, I'm okay walking away if we can't. I have no problem with that, right? But I think it's important for us to evaluate each potential development that comes here and see if it can work for our community. And I understand that not everybody will be happy, right, with things that happen. I understand that too. So we're trying to, from my perspective, trying to make sure that we're taking into account everything. I've taken notes, every public comment. I have a ton of notes. I got a ton of things like, okay, how do we address every issue? I mean, it might be difficult, but that's kind of where I'm looking at and where my focus is going through this. So.
All right, very good, well stated. Enough about that. We've got other topics to cover, and we'll look at those right after this break for the weather, brought to you by Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
More clouds will mean cooler temperatures, but we're still going to see a spike in humidity for today. And within those clouds, a stray shower thunderstorm will be possible this afternoon through early evening. Temperatures reach the mid-80s today. We'll track an early shower storm this evening, otherwise mostly cloudy, temperatures dropping into the upper 60s. With your Storm Track 8 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutsky.
Again, we do have some cloud cover out there. Light wind, 75 degrees. Our update brought to you by Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
Why do customers trust Kelly? Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning goes above and beyond with a maintenance service agreement. For one low annual cost, you can save 5% on repairs, have priority scheduling, and no overtime fees. Plus, it helps avoid costly future repairs. And if you need a new Bryant whole home comfort system, Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning has many different financing options to get you up and running, whatever it takes. Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning in Clinton, your Bryant factory authorized dealer.
Second Thursday of the month, so we get to catch up with the mayor, Scott Maddasion. So give us an update on the city administration.
Yeah, so we obviously are in the process of looking for a city administrator. So we posted the job. We had 38 applicants. We went through the interview process for 3 of those applicants. Ultimately, with conversation with council, they did not choose one of the 3 that we interviewed. And I think they're looking for a specific person that will kind of fit within the city, and I think we had really great candidates. The interviews were really good. I mean, we had great interviews. Just there wasn't a consensus on, one of those folks was the right fit at this time in Clinton, just with everything we have going on and kind of what the council is looking for. So we posted it back out there. We're kind of working through those. We've learned a lot through the first round, I guess you'd say. So we're going to work through that. Council is, we have a couple council members that are kind of in charge of the search that are really working hard on that to kind of figure out what we can change in this next process. They adjusted the job description, the search group. They had some council members, some department heads working through. So they changed, not entirely, but they did a minimum qualifications, preferred qualifications, and then some other attributes that they're looking for. So we got a little more specific on what they're looking for, which I think is good. So we're going to go for another round here and see. I mean, other communities, from my research way back in April timeframe when we kind of started this, other communities have done multiple rounds trying to find the right person or the person, whatever you want to say, and so it's not uncommon to do this. But the city administrator career field is a tough one, right? There's not people beating down the door to be city administrators, unfortunately, right? And if you get a good one, they can stay in place for a long time, right? So we're up against a couple of those types of challenges, but I think we're going to continue to move forward and hopefully we'll find that right person soon.
So in the interim, is it still you working in that role?
It is me right now. The council has a resolution on the July 14th meeting next week to appoint an interim. They're going to, probably pick one of the department heads to do that, and it's a lot of work. And it's been almost like 100 days, I think, or something like that. At least 90 days that I've been doing it as interim, and I do have a full-time job, and I still have the mayoral duties that I have to do, the meetings and different things like that. So just need to make sure that the department heads are getting what they need and what they deserve, and I think they're okay with the way things are going right now. But I just feel like we need to have someone coming into, as we get into September, October, and we start budget things and stuff like that. If we don't have someone in the position by then, it's gonna be a little heavy for me to handle all of that. Right now, we're doing fine. We're just kind of nothing out of the ordinary, status quo, just keep things moving. But we're gonna need someone that can be a little more focused down, or spend a little more time down there on the day-to-day here coming up soon. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Any of the candidates, were there any local people that threw their hats into the ring?
We had a couple local people, but they weren't chosen by the search committee for interviews.
Okay.
So, yeah, and honestly, doing the interim stuff, I kind of took myself out of the search committee. I was like, let the council members handle that. Actually, it's technically their employee. They're the ones that hire the city administrator. So it's just one more thing that I kind of got that off my plate. So I don't know the discussion on why certain people or why they didn't choose any of the local folks. I wasn't involved in that. But yeah, I mean, based on the qualifications, I think the three folks that we interviewed fit the description of the qualifications that we had, and I think that's why council adjusted a little bit, because I think they realized maybe we're looking for something a little different. So that committee kind of did a refocus, and we'll see what we get in this round. I do know, I think we posted it last week, and I thought Krista, the city clerk, told me that we already had a couple people applicants put in. So I don't know if they're similar, or the same people or not, or whatever, but yeah, so it sounds like we're getting a little bit of interest as we repost it. So
all right, very good. If anybody's driven around town, they know there's a lot of construction
tons
going on. A lot. How many different projects are going on right now, man?
Probably too many, to be honest with you. But a couple projects obviously planned, and then a few that are unplanned. Like 3rd Street was not planned. We had we were going to do some resurfacing on there. That was planned, but to have that sewer collapse in that the block there, I don't remember what 100 block it is, a couple blocks up from the courthouse there. So we fixed that because it was a necessity. We had to, right? And we got that done, so the residents aren't getting backups and everything's running smooth there. And we're looking at, Jason told me yesterday that we're looking to have it resurfaced next week. So hopefully next week the weather will allow them to get it done and get moving, and then that will be back open. And then I think up near 17th Avenue North, that area, they'll end up resurfacing up there. There's like 3 or 4 blocks they're going to resurface there. That was planned as well. So we're trying to get that done. Manufacturing Drive, is moving along, and I think we've ran into some challenges along that as far as routing that maybe were not foreseen at the beginning, right? So I think it's unfortunate, and we're going to try to fix that. I've been working with them to figure out how we can route people to businesses better. The second bridge is hopefully going to be done by the end of this month, which will then open up that west side leg there. Hopefully both bridges, one's done, obviously, the other one will be done, and that'll be moving, and then they'll move into the bluff side, obviously, as we move down the road there. So it's a lot of work. Obviously, there's challenges from a lot of different perspectives, but we're working through it the best we can to get it done and try to keep the disruption down.
I know Jason Kraft was on Greg Oberon's City Watch program that we have here. Has he had you on City Watch yet, Greg?
Greg hasn't, no.
Oh, okay.
I did it a few times with Bill Shemmers when he was doing it,
right.
On different topics. And a lot of times at the end of the year, we would do a kind of an update of the yearly thing. And so, Greg hasn't asked me yet. So,
well, I mean, that was a great program. Bill Shemmers came to us, and he did like over 100 programs. And then it was great to have Greg Oberon, pick up the mantle and continue. I think it's a great program.
No, it is. And it's, it's a small little snippet. It's a short run on Saturday as far as the time. And if you listen to it each week, there's a lot of really great topics on there, and you can get a lot of great information like real quickly. And then, you could obviously go research more if you wanted to. But yeah, I think it's a great one.
But he did have Jason on there, and Jason mentioned in there about, with the Bluff manufacturing thing, how they're doing it in segments to try and move along at each different part.
Yeah, and it is phased, and I think there's been some delays, contractor delays, weather delays, things like that, which have caused that phased approach to be maybe a little more challenging than it could have been. But those are things that you can't foresee at the beginning, right? Looking back, everybody's a genius, right?
Well, I see 2nd Avenue South looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, isn't that smooth?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm glad to have that back. Obviously, that was a project that took a little longer than expected, but it looks sharp. They still got some things to shore up along there and a little bit of concrete to do, in the right-of-way there. And I don't know if you did the same thing I did, but it used to be a 4-way stop down there at 5th.
Oh, yes.
Well, we took the stop sign out on 2nd there, so
Yes.
I actually stopped because even though you haven't driven on the road in so long, I think subconsciously it was like, this is a 4-way stop, right?
Yes,
so,
exactly.
So that's kind of nice. I think it runs runs smooth along there, having it open like that, because that's a major, little artery going through town. So.
Again, visiting with the mayor as we wrap up the program. Let's talk about some positive things. You and I are both graduates of Clinton High School.
Yeah.
I'm much older than you, so I was actually one of the classes that got into the new Clinton High School following the fire.
Okay.
So it is now great to see how that project is coming along. I drive by 8th Avenue South every once in a while.
Yeah.
And that is going to be amazing when it's done.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a sharp look when you drive by. It's a great project. I think the school district and the school board themselves have done a wonderful job investing in all of their facilities. I mean, each and every school you walk into is just top notch, right? And now, with this remodel of the high school, it's going to get the high school to the same level that all of our elementaries and our middle school is. So I really commend them for having, focus on kind of their infrastructure type thing, right? Let's make sure our schools are clean and sharp and provide everything that the kids need. So, I mean, I have one that's just finished kindergarten at Whittier, going into 1st grade, right? So, and I've got 3 kids that are going to be going through the Clinton school system. So I'm excited for them to be able to experience all the great things that they have going on there.
And a lot of things going on. We got music on the avenue tonight.
Yeah.
Gabby is going to be coming in on this program at the end of the month. Paint It Back is now moving to the downtown.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so many wonderful things happening in Clinton, all year round. But the summer, obviously, we pack a lot more in there. And I was at Music on the Avenue last week. Was it last week or the week before? The credit union had a booth down there because we were a sponsor of that. And 3 on the Tree was playing, and that it was jam-packed. Yeah. I mean, there was a ton of folks down there, and it was really cool to see. I mean, I think we waited 45 minutes for a snow cone in line there, but that's good. I'm glad to see that, and it's really exciting. And that event has just become massive, which is really cool. And same with Finally Fridays. They've grown in popularity quite a bit too, so it's nice to see.
And I get the mail for the radio station, so I go down to the post office, and every day there are people going in to see the Troll.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is bringing so many people into our community.
Yep.
It's incredible.
I'll honestly say that when they told me, like, oh, this potentially could bring, X amount of people into community, I was kind of like a naysayer too, like, nah, I don't know if that's really going to happen. And then now it's like, okay, prove me wrong. These are popular. I mean, I live over by the Arboretum too, and the traffic has increased over in that area as well because people are stopping in, and, we walk down there a lot. The kids like to go see the Troll, and there's always people coming in and out. It doesn't matter what time of day you go down there. It's really cool. I finally got to trek to the one at Eagle Point Park, the sculpture Troll thing there too, which was neat. That was a lot of fun. I mean, it's great things to have in our community, and I think we're slowly adding a lot of this arts and culture stuff, which I think is really neat because it opens up different opportunities. So between the Trolls and Gabby and Paint It Back and murals and all the stuff that we have going on, the music and everything, I think that's a really cool pocket for us to kind of move into.
Okay. Again, we, as always, appreciate your time. The big event, of course, coming up, the Planning Commission meeting. People are going to be able to access it on YouTube following that meeting.
Yep.
But they are going to be able to be in there and in person if they would like.
Correct. Yep. And like you said, there's a capacity of 300. We have Microsoft Teams, so you would be able to call in or log in and listen to the meeting, and you could interact through that as well. But the YouTube feed at this moment, hopefully our IT people can do some magic and we'll get it broadcasting. But right now, I think you can expect that Teams is where you're going to have to get to if you can't be there in person.
Website for the city?
cityofclintoniowa.gov.
You got it. Very good. Mayor, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Right now, the Dan